Hello, my beautiful little water sign unicorns. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to welcome you onto my channel, I'm Vanessa Somuayina and welcome to the fam. So my Scorpios, Pisces, as well as Cancerians. Today's reading is a little different. It is more personalized. I decided to try a new format so that I can give you a reading that is tailored to your sign. So I decided to give each one of the 4 triplicities its own reading. So if as a water sign you appreciate this type of reading and this format, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and that you let me know down in the comment section. And if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this water sign only reading, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. So my Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio friends, I don't want to waste too much time in the intro. I want to get straight into your reading. So before we talk about your life a year from now, let's figure out what we have in your reading so far. So we have the Larimar, we have the Amethyst, we have Polarity, the Goddess, Sanctuary, Flow, Gold, as well as the Aqua Aura. So as you may or may not know, the water signs are the most psychic signs. So they're very intuitive, also very sensitive. But one thing that I see within Gold is the fact that this psychic ability is going to show you when the universe divinely intervenes within your life. So do you know when things happen and you're like, oh, why did this happen to me? But then it later reveals itself to be the best possible thing that could have happened to you, even though at the time it seemed like a total bummer and it seemed like the opposite of what you wanted. I definitely see divine intervention happening to where a year from now within your life, you will understand why you went through a lot of the things that you're going through right now and that you may have gone through in the past. So just trust that these things will come to light and trust that they will reveal themselves, and don't allow yourself to get too much within your feelings, if you know what I mean. So I know water signs are emotional signs. I'm very much familiar with that phenomenon as a Cancerian myself, but you need to be careful to not be too sensitive. That is one thing that the Larimar shows me. Heightened emotions, mood swings, being sensitive is something that on one side is good, but at the other side it can also be your downfall. And that is one thing that I see in Polarity. I feel like it's very hard for you to distinguish between, is being this emotional helping you, or is it kind of like your silent downfall? So I definitely feel like that is something you should keep an eye on. And if you feel like you need to speak to somebody, or your mood swings are abnormal or in a way that they're affecting your life negatively, make sure that you take a look at that. But I definitely feel like a year from now you will have this a bit more under control. You will understand that your emotions are here for a reason. There's a reason why your sign specifically is so attached to family, to friends, loves to see them win, and will do things even if it makes you unhappy just to put a smile on their face, just to make their day a little bit better. And that is where I feel like Polarity, where you're kind of like worried, are my emotions my friends or my enemies? Where you're going to see that there's 2 sides to everything. Being naturally this empathetic, caring, and compassionate is something that a lot of people crave and value in you, and with crave, I mean, a lot of people want that in their life. A lot of people like that water signs would do anything for their friends and their family. And without there being things that aren't so amazing or great, there couldn't be that big plus in your life. There couldn't be that big sort of light around you that people admire so much. So keep in mind that without darkness and things that are not great, it would be hard for things that are great to exist because you couldn't distinguish. So understand the law of polarity and that it is just a fact of life, and don't beat yourself up about it. Moving further into your reading, I definitely feel like coming out a little more, maybe literally coming out, is something that I see a year from now, and I see that you will feel loved for who you truly are, and that is something amazing. And I want you to know that if coming out is a topic for you, or you're kind of a little bit, here and there swimming in both ponds and you're not really sure what your attraction says about you, there's no need to worry. There's no need to feel like people will not love you for who you are. And if you're completely sure of who you're attracted to, then know that that can still in itself carry shame sometimes, because sometimes we're just telling ourselves, oh, I'm attracted to brown-eyed, gray-haired person, but really what you would like is this person with blue hair and blue eyes. So obviously that's just an example, but I'm just saying in this day and age, people can judge the kind of person that you date depending on, looks, race, where they come from, what kind of environment that they grew up in. So I definitely want you to release any fear that is attached to that. And I see that revealing your true self is all of a sudden going to put you in a situation where you're ready to receive more people into your life that you truly connect with. So a year from now, I see that communication is going to improve. Communication is going to become more clear, as long as you make sure that you don't allow your feelings to take over at every turn and every corner. So being overly emotional is just going to hinder good communication. It's just going to make good communication close to impossible, because you're so focused on the little details and you're so focused on things that are of heightened sensitivity that then in turn may make you feel attacked or make you feel not so good about yourself. So keep in mind that once you get your sensitivity, once you get your emotions in check that may run wild sometimes, that may hit you like a tidal wave almost, I definitely see in the Aqua Aura that healthy communication in your relationships is what will result out of that. So a year from now, I not only see healthy communication with other people and within your relationships, but also healthy communication with yourself. That is what I see in the Goddess. Honoring your inner divine feminine energy, seeing every part of you as beautiful, loving every part of you is something that I see a year from now. So maybe right now you don't really like your thighs, your stomach, your nose, your eyes. I mean, I don't know. There is everything in this world that you could think of to not like, so to say. And if you're familiar with the movie Mean Girls, you know that all of a sudden Lindsay Lohan, do you know that scene where Regina George and the other girls, they're like, oh, I hate my calves, I hate my earlobes, just whatever it was. And this girl was like, wow, I didn't even know there was that much to dislike about yourself. And sadly, that is the kind of culture that we live in, where we find something always that we don't like about ourselves, even if it's the most ridiculous thing. Like I said, earlobes. And I see that a year from now, you're going to sort of throw that belief system in the trash, so to say. You're going to kick that out of the door. Maybe you already have, and it's just going to amplify this goddess-like energy that you have around you, this halo of basically confidence that comes with you wherever you go, because people realize when you're confident in your own skin. People like that, and people are attracted to that. So in Sanctuary, I definitely see that there will be some time out from the world, some time by yourself. Maybe you'll even go on a solo trip. I see a year from now, meditating and reading is going to be a way how you educate yourself. Meditating and reading is going to be more of a part of your daily routine, or at least it'll be a goal of yours to keep that as a fixed part of your life, because you've seen results through that. You've seen how nice it is when you're in your flow state. And that is one thing that I see in flow. You realize that, for instance, multitasking is not beneficial, because you're just switching between 2, 3, maybe even more tasks really quickly, like checking emails, doing work, and then cooking or talking to a friend. And then all of a sudden you realize that you never actually get into your flow state all day, because it takes roughly 20 minutes for a human being to enter their flow state, where they do the most productive and best work. So if you always switch, say every 20 minutes between different tasks, and your mind is completely elsewhere for a moment, you have to start from the beginning again to try and reach that flow state. So I definitely see that you will be able to just put your phone down, to not be distracted so much, and to focus on the tasks at hand. So if you feel like it's hard for you to focus right now, there are things that you're dealing with beneath the surface that I see will have rearranged themselves to a way where okay, I need to put my head down now. I need to make sure that I get my life where I want to go. And flow state is going to come more naturally to you. You're not going to have so many expectations. You're not going to have so many fears. You're going to be more about just doing. So let's move a little further into your reading. We have Get Grounded, we have Trust Your Path, we have You're Already Doing It, as well as Lemuria. So I want to talk to you about Lemuria, and in correlation with this sort of heaven on earth, with this dream world that you create, I know as a water sign, it can be so easy when you get overwhelmed to not think rationally, to act very impulsively and act upon the emotions that you feel. And sometimes those can have bad repercussions. And this is something that I want to speak to you about, especially because we have this card concerning communication, because there have been times where I have said things that I wish I could take back. And there are times where I have had things said to me that I wish I wouldn't have had to hear. But I wish more that I could take back the things that I said that made me feel like I shouldn't have said that. And you may just feel the same way, because one thing that I see is that you're very much like a natural empath and get grounded. I see that, you know, being so highly sensitive makes you very observant. You notice everything, and you also notice when you've done somebody wrong. There is no situation where you can accidentally hurt somebody. You're always very aware of other people's feelings, which is a great thing, but can also make you susceptible to soaking up negative energy. And that happens unwanted just because you can't control it. But as we were talking about in Lemuria, I definitely see you finding like your sanctuary, your space, your sort of flow state in this little part of your head where you're like, this is where I need to go to control my emotions. This is where I need to place myself in a stressful situation in order to handle it gracefully and in a way that I'm not just making decisions just based on feelings in this very moment. So in Trust Your Path, I want you to know that you're already on a good path right now. I want you to know that also a year from now, you'll be on a good path. You would be on a path to where you want to go, but you need to trust it. And you have to think to yourself, if I were supported, where would I go? What would I do? What route would I go down? And then choose that route if you're not already on it, because a lot of us are on a completely different route because we're scared of what will happen if we're not supported, or we're scared of, oh, what do I do if it doesn't work out? If it works out, what would I do in love? What would I do in my career? What would I do personally? And start accomplishing those things bit by bit. And what you need to stop doing is overthinking. It's very clear that you may be a victim of your thoughts racing to places that are not good for you, that are not healthy, where you're overthinking situations, where you're overthinking your emotions, also your relationships with other people. And you have to stop doing that and just know for a fact that you're already doing what you need to do. You're already an empathetic, understanding person. You're already a kind of person who is concerned with the world, also concerned with themselves and their emotions, and very self-aware. You're already doing a lot of things that other people still need to get to. You're already doing most of the things that will lead you to your goals, or you know of most of the things that will lead you to your dream life. So stop overthinking and just start doing or continue doing. So my dear water signs, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you found it insightful, maybe inspirational and motivational, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.